So you're moving to Oregon, but you can't decide between Salem, Oregon and Eugene, Oregon. And on paper, Salem and Eugene seem pretty darn similar. Both are mid-sized cities with a lot of outdoor activities going on and some fun quirks. But when you start to dig a little bit deeper, Salem and Eugene are very different cities, especially when it comes to how you actually live day to day. So today we're going to be breaking down what sets Salem apart from Eugene and why you might prefer one city over the other one for your next big move here to Oregon. My name is Claire Diod and I'm a local real estate agent who focuses on helping buyers relocate to Oregon. If you want to work with me, go down to the description of this video and book a one-on-one consultation. All right, let's jump right in. Let's first start with the vibes of each city, because even though Salem and Eugene are around the same population size, Salem has about 175,000 people and Eugene has just a little bit over 170,000 people. They really couldn't feel more different. Salem is Oregon's state capital and Eugene is home to the Duck football team and the University of Oregon. In other words, Salem is a government town while Eugene is a university town. Salem gives off that small town charm without being too small, which is perfect if you like running into familiar faces when you're grabbing your morning coffee or taking your doggo for a walk at the park. And the best way to describe this vibe is that Salem feels like a little big city. It's kind of got that everyone knows everyone vibe without feeling too claustrophobic. And I know that my YouTube clients who are relocating to Salem, they really appreciate how Salem is relaxed and laid back, yet you still have access to all of the necessary amenities you're going to need to find from a bigger city. It feels cozy here, and that makes settling into Salem so much easier because everything feels really approachable and easy to navigate, unlike a larger city. In a big city, it can feel pretty overwhelming just to go out and get your groceries. So whether it's stopping by the farmer's market here in Salem or the local and organic produce place called LifeSource, or just hanging out in the best park called Bush Pasture Park with your doggy, people tend to slow down here in Salem, Oregon. And I know at my season of life, having a slower pace sounds really, really good and a nice departure from the hustle and bustle of a bigger city. Salem's downtown center is more like a destination. There isn't too much housing in the actual downtown proper, which means you are likely going to be driving into downtown center when you want to get those downtown vibes. Salem's downtown is small, it's cute, and it's filled with mostly restaurants and a handful of boutiques. There are some office buildings and banks and yoga studios, and most of the buildings here are restored and historic, which makes downtown have a really cute historic charm. On the flip side, Eugene has a super youthful and artsy and energetic approach thanks to the University of Oregon, which is located right in the heart of the city of Eugene. There is always something going on. So you might have live music events or art shows or food festivals. The city of Eugene feels like there's this creative pulse running through it, which is awesome because if that is your thing, great, you are going to feel right at home. And if you're into sustainability and shopping local and being part of forward-thinking, eco-conscious community, Eugene is definitely the place for you because it feels like there's something always going on. And if I could summarize the vibe of Eugene into 2 words, it would be rich but eclectic, which is not a bad thing at all. It simply means that there is some big money in the city of Eugene thanks to the university, but there's also this really artsy flair, which lends to a more eclectic vibe than what you're going to find in the city of Salem. There is a downtown proper in Eugene, but there are also smaller pockets around the city and within each neighborhood that makes it feel like each neighborhood has its own local hangouts. And this is really contrary to what you're going to find in Salem, which has more of a singular downtown, and then each neighborhood is mostly filled with houses. Now, when it comes to getting around and transportation, the experience in each city could not be more different. Salem is super easy to navigate in my opinion, coming from a bigger city, but to be honest, you are going to need a car here. While we do have a public bus system called the Chariots, it is not robust enough to completely replace the need for driving. If you're used to dealing with the bumper to bumper traffic of a huge city like Portland or Las Vegas or LA, you're going to be so happy to know that most places in Salem, they take about 20 minutes at most to drive to. And it feels like traffic jams are pretty non-existent if you're used to them all the time. Worst case scenario in Salem is that if you run into some congestion, it'll probably tack on about 10 to 15 minutes to your usual commute time. And my YouTube clients who are moving to Salem, they always mention how much they love the light traffic here compared to the traffic of larger cities. It's low stress, it's low hassle, and you can just pop out for errands without feeling like you need to plan your entire day around avoiding traffic. And one major perk that Salem has over Eugene is proximity to the Portland International Airport. So from Salem, you are only about an hour's drive to that airport, which makes weekend getaways or just long distance travel super easy. Meanwhile, Eugene is about 2 hours from the Portland International Airport. So if traveling frequently is important to you, that's going to be something that you need to take into consideration. Now, Eugene is a little bit different in terms of getting around town. If you're into biking, you are going to love Eugene because it's one of the most bike-friendly cities in the state, only second to Portland. So if getting around and commuting on your bicycle is important to you, Eugene will definitely need to be higher on your list than Salem, because in Salem, biking and commuting, it's just not really a thing here. In Eugene, the public transportation there, which is called the Lane Transit District, is much more developed thanks to the University of Oregon and the large student population. And downtown Eugene is pretty darn walkable, so if you prefer to park your car and then go on foot or your bike, Eugene makes it much more easy to do that. But here's something really important to keep in mind. Let's take a look at a map here. So see this red circle? That is Eugene. The black circle here is Salem, and up here to the north is Portland. Both Eugene and Salem sit on the I-5 corridor, but once you head south past Eugene, the freeway narrows down to just 2 lanes. Now this is in contrast to north of Salem, where the highway stays at 4 lanes, in most part all the way until you get to Portland. But what does this actually mean for you? Well, if one of those 2 lanes near Eugene on the highway gets shut down for any reason, traffic bottlenecks and your commute can become a nightmare if you are traveling north. So if you need easy access to Portland or the airport up there, Salem is going to be a much more convenient option for you. And I, for one, really like to be close to the Portland International Airport, and I like having accessibility to the larger city of Portland and feeling like it is just a short hour's drive to tap into those big city amenities. And if that's important to you, you're also probably going to favor Salem over Eugene for that reason. Now, when it comes to the pace of life in Salem versus Eugene, Salem is where you are going to find a laid-back, take-it-easy kind of lifestyle. It's great for people who want a slower and more relaxed pace, but still being close to those big city vibes of Portland. Just imagine yourself walking around with coffee in hand, going to the local park called Minto Island with your doggy, and you're just enjoying an afternoon hanging out in your garden. That is the kind of vibe that you are going to get here in Salem. Salem feels like it has a focus on the simple pleasures in life and just really taking it day by day. You don't have to rush through life here in Salem. Everything feels a little bit slower. My YouTube clients frequently mention how refreshing it is to get away from the hustle and bustle of a bigger city and to just take a breath here in Salem. Now, Eugene, on the other hand, is a little bit more go energy. So if you're the type of person who thrives on a more dynamic, fast-paced environment, Eugene is going to be the place for you. And remember, there is always something happening in Eugene, whether it's a new art exhibit, a live show, or just exploring the city's craft breweries. Eugene definitely keeps you entertained, but that can also mean that you feel like it's a busier city than a place like Salem. Eugene has a hum of a larger city without being a large city. All right, now we've got to talk about the cost of living because that is a huge deal if you're moving here to Oregon. Salem is slightly more affordable than Eugene. The median sales price of a house here is $435,000, and that's a breath of fresh air if you are coming from a bigger city like Portland or LA or Las Vegas. And there is less competition here in Salem than there is in Eugene. So you can have a better chance of avoiding stressful bidding wars if you want to. Now, I cannot tell you how many of my YouTube clients appreciate that about Salem. We've got more room to breathe, more housing options, and they just don't feel so pressured to make a snap decision on houses because our real estate market here in Salem has calmed down quite a bit in the past 6 months. Now, do be mindful that our real estate market isn't static. So by the time that you watch this video, things can change, but don't worry, that is why you hire somebody like me who is tapped into the real estate market. I get to stay on top of those details so you don't have to. Eugene's housing market is a bit more competitive, and the current median home price is around $450,000. Now, it's not a huge difference on paper, but it is enough to make Salem feel like it is more budget friendly. And having said that, Eugene's art culture and the entertainment scenes might be worth the extra cost to you if you are somebody who values having a lot of things to do right in your backyard. Do be mindful that Eugene's real estate market does feel more competitive. So do prepare yourself mentally for a more intense buying experience. It's also important to recognize that there's a lot more renters in Eugene because remember, it is a university town. So when you get closer to the university campus, you're going to find student housing, rentals that are tailored to having university students, and overall, you're just going to see more university people walking around the neighborhoods in Eugene. Eugene feels younger in that regard. And if you're somebody who doesn't want to live close to university students or frat houses or renters, you're going to need to tailor your home search in Eugene to take that into account. Salem does have a university in the downtown area, but there's a reason why you've never heard of it before now. Salem is not considered a university town, even though we do have a university. If you want an age demographic that is a little bit older, you don't want to have to worry about living next to university students, then Salem might just be a better fit for you. Let's talk about outdoorsy lifestyle and what you're going to be doing when you're not working, because both Salem and Eugene are near some of Oregon's best outdoor spots. Salem is a perfect match if you're into low-key outdoor adventures, and the best way to describe this is that you like to be outside. You don't like to hike 5 miles every single weekend or have the best outdoor gear. You are like me and you just like chilling outside. Here in Salem, we're close to Silver Falls State Park, which is about 30 to 40 minutes from Salem, which is a must for any nature lover. We also have Minto Brown Island Park, which is located right across from downtown Salem, which is great for just casual walks with your doggy. It's peaceful, it's scenic, and it offers a ton of space to enjoy nature without being too crowded or having to worry about a ton of other dogs on the walking path. And if you're into wine tasting, you are in luck because Salem is in the heart of the Willamette Valley, which is world renowned for the wines that we produce here. So weekends spent hopping between vineyards are just a regular thing here in Salem. Now, Eugene offers a much more active and adventurous vibe. If you love cycling, hiking, kayaking, Eugene has endless options for you to be outdoors. In Eugene, you're close to the Cascade Mountains, and adventures on the Willamette River run right through the city. So outdoor enthusiasts can take advantage of everything from rafting to fishing in Eugene. Eugene is definitely more of like an intense outdoor playground compared to Salem. And I would say that the outdoor style feels much more ingrained in the fabric of the Eugene culture. And when I was driving around Eugene getting the footage for this video, I saw people rock climbing outside in a park. That would not happen here in Salem. So overall, Eugene is geared towards people who make being outside a way of life. And it really feels like Salem is more for the casual outdoorsy person who is like me and calls a casual walk outside in nature a hike. Salem is for lazy hikers. Eugene is for the intense hiker. So when it comes down to it, choosing between Salem and Eugene really depends on your season of life and what you're looking for. If you're looking for a slower paced life with easy access to Portland and more affordable housing, Salem is where you're going to want to be checking out. On the other hand, if you want a city with a bit more energy, a thriving art scene, and easy walkability, Eugene might be calling your name. And whichever place you are leaning towards, make sure you book a one-on-one consultation with me so I can either help you in Salem or set you up with an agent who can help you in Eugene. If you enjoyed this video, you're going to want to check out this one next. Bye, friends!